Week 2 is now officially over, and what we've seen over the past few days has really had our top 10 start to solidify itself. What teams are drowning and what teams have risen to the top of this insane talent pool so far in Season 1. Let's get into some power rankings. Starting with some teams that didn't have the best performance over the last week, and for me personally are at the bottom of the food chain. Glowcent, Phantoms, Desmond, and Visma. For all four of these teams, we've seen glimpses of what they could be, all having wins over an opponent ranked higher than them, but what lets all of these duos down is the records. No one with over 3 games won, and no one with over a 37% win percentage. Really hasn't been the start to the season any of these squads were expecting. But still, in a 9-week season, you have time to hit the VOD room and correct some of those important mistakes. Now into the middle of the pack with 4 teams that we're gonna split up 2 and 2. The first two are I Believe and 2Real. For both of these squads, I think we are starting to see a downturn in play. 2Real, who had won 1 round between 2 matches, was able to correct some mistakes and avoid dropping their 3rd map in a row, but the problem for me is you don't have a win over anyone with a winning record. In fact, your only wins this season come against Desmond twice, who is 3 and 8, Visma twice, who's 3 and 6, and Phantoms, who is their best win, and they hold a record of 3 and 5. For I Believe, you have now dropped 2 consecutive maps in a row, which is something that we didn't see once last season. Getting smacked 6-2 by Desmond in the process has left this team with an okay 3 and 2 record, and in the rankings currently out of playoffs. If we don't see I Believe lock in soon, we could see the downfall of the defending champ. On the complete opposite side of the coin is Proto and Gusify. For Gus, making it to grand finals last year and coming up 1 round short really seems to have motivated this team early on in the season. A few tough losses, but some really solid wins over Kamwa and Intex shows me this team is capable of beating anyone. On Proto side of things, we still only have that small sample size, but they show extreme promise, handing Kamwa only their 2nd loss of the season in a 6-2 fashion, as well as this team not being able to play a match throughout the entire first week of play shows me that they really took time to work things out as a duo and are starting to hit their stride. Now, stakers, into the top 3. Starting out in that 3rd place is Team Intex. A 6 and 3 record with your only losses coming to Glowcent, which you were able to get revenge the very next night, along with Equip and Gusify, who are 2 of the best in the league. Being paired up with Flank this season not only makes them one of the most knowledgeable teams in our league, but also makes them one of the most dangerous. A lot of our pros, including Flank, thought he should not have been in the player pool, and so far he's been showing us why. For number 2 and number 1, your stories are almost intertwined. For me as it stands, Kamwa takes that 2nd place inside of the league, but they're the only team who has found a win over current number 1 Equip. What we've seen from both of these titans is dominance all season long. For Kamwa, you've dropped 2 maps all season and just proven that you have the ice after coming back from 5-1 down in their last match. On Equip's side of things, you lose your first match inside of the 1v1 me league against Kamwa, and since then have been on absolute fire, putting together 6 wins in a row. Beating 2Real, beating I Believe, beating Gusify, and beating Intex. They have beaten everyone except for Kamwa, and they told me they want that rematch. So there you have it, stakers. Our official power rankings are set for the week, but do you agree?